Game day brings its ups and downs, celebration and disappointment, anxiety and relief, friends and enemies. You can always argue over who should have won, but everyone can agree on great food. Appetizers, entrees, drinks, party platters, or even the taste of sweet victory. There's something for every season at Eat With Us restaurants.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, welcome into Mississippi Live Weather 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. We're here from Houston. Our Mississippi Live game of the week will be the Houston Hilltoppers taking on New Albany. We'll have more on that coming up here in a few minutes, and certainly a lot more at 6 o'clock. But the headline tonight in the Room to Room Weather Center is a chance for storms. While that does include a chance tonight, the more significant chance is on the way, we think, for tomorrow, and maybe even more significant next week. So a couple isolated storms possible tonight. We're hoping here in Houston we're okay. I see a few towering cumulus out there in the distance back toward the west, but they don't look like they're too terribly tall. So I think we're probably going to be okay there. As we go toward tomorrow, obviously a severe weather threat is more of the concern, as it's possible on your Saturday that we could be talking about some storms producing damaging winds, perhaps even an isolated tornado, not an impossibility. And those storm threats for next week, we could have more of the components in place that lead to a greater threat for severe weather by then. Your first 12, as you can see here, 75 degrees at 6 p.m. Rain coverage probably peaking at 30% at most near the Alabama state line where those showers are the greatest in coverage. At this point, 69 by 9, 67 is look toward midnight, and mid-60s on the way as we look toward early tomorrow morning. Our Mississippi Live drone here as we go high above the field in Houston. That's grass. Looking good. The field crew been doing a great job on that. As we kind of tilt this up there, you'll see that the skies continue to be kind of mostly cloudy. That has been the case today across most of North Mississippi. A little more clear looking back toward the east. I'll kind of flip this thing back around, if you give me a moment, towards some of those higher clouds and mid-level clouds back to the west. So this is that one I was showing you a moment ago there. It does have a little bit of a towering cumulus sort of look to that. It looks like I might be having a signal issue there, Gabe. Is it going in and out? You have to hit the refresh button on that just in case.
There.
One time.
It's
there we go.
Once. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Well, what happened is I walked down the hill a little bit. So go ahead and come back to me here on ground level. But I think I lost a little bit of a signal on that there. Again, looking at Mama Justice Doppler radar, you can see a couple of those showers and storms again near the Alabama state line where we've had the greatest quantity of those to this point here. The wider shot, though, shows back to the plains and back out toward Oklahoma, toward Kansas. Those blue boxes are tornado watches. We're hopeful that's not what we end up with tomorrow. More likely to see some damaging winds than anything else. But again, more on that discussion coming up here in a few minutes. Here's the severe risk for today, and you can see that level 3 out of 5 risk, meaning a greater number of reports there from really Omaha, Nebraska through Kansas City, back out toward Tulsa, Oklahoma, and almost to Dallas, Texas. So that's a stretch there of a fairly significant risk of more than 1,000 miles north to south. It's a longer distance involved, but a lesser overall risk for tomorrow, and you do see that does intrude more into our area. Where you see the yellow here, that's a level 2 out of 5 severe weather risk, a greater number of reports in the yellow area. And in particular, if we're going to see something, it's most likely we would get impact possibly from damaging winds. A tornado threat is there, but as you can see, that's a level 1 out of 5. What that means, not expecting many reports of that. So could we see one? It's not impossible. Will we see it? I would not at all be shocked if we did not, and hopefully that's the way this works out. The damaging wind threat, though, that is more likely at a few isolated thunderstorms. Go along also from flash flooding there. But most wind gusts, I think, should be below severe limits as well. This is a really good rain producer. And one of the interesting things, when we'll look at triple threat coming up at 6 o'clock, there is some hail potential out of this. Not last week hail potential, but still some hail potential we'll look at here during the 6 o'clock broadcast in particular. We'll dig a little more deeply into that. So as we check out, again, appreciate True Shield Roofing for sponsoring our hail risk there. Gabe, I'll let you go ahead and advance it because I think we might have clicked off of something there. So if you'll go ahead, yeah, there we go. The risk as we go towards Sunday, that is primarily a non-factor for us. Next significant risk after that, probably Wednesday of next week, and that's when our chances start to increase in the latter part of next week. So this evening, looking at futurecast remains fairly spotty. A few more showers there back toward Canton and Kosciuszko, and we do show a few back towards Senatobia through 10:30. So that's why our rain chance here in Houston is non-zero, but not particularly impressed by what we're looking at there. As we go throughout the overnight hours, you'll notice most of the showers and thunderstorms back in the north and west as we got to stop the clock here by 9 a.m. Still at that point, back out in the Arkansas where most of the storms are. But that front will move in and our storm chances will increase. We're looking up to maybe 60% on that coverage storms by early afternoon, 80% as we go toward our early evening. A lot of thunderstorms around, a lot of heavy rainfall, the main impact out of those, but some will have some damaging wind gusts. We're going to walk hour by hour through Futurecast, through this whole event, and show you exactly what to expect and when. We're coming live again here from Houston from our Mississippi Live Game of the Week presented by KC Lot. It is a beautiful afternoon if we can keep those showers away. Your full forecast in 60 seconds here on Mississippi Live Weather.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you.
Alert! It's a flash sale for 1 week only at Room to Room in 6 p.m. Saturday. Prices slash store-wide, in-store coupons, BOGO accessories, King for a Queen mattress deals, and special financing. These deals will be gone in a flash. Room to Room Tupelo.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovhawn.
We are our Mississippi Live Game of the Week, again sponsored by Casey Lott and Langston Lott. So excited to be here in the Houston area. We know it's going to be an absolutely fantastic evening for a little bit of baseball. I came up the hill just a little bit. I think I might have slightly better cell phone service up here. And in this case, I think that matters here in our mobile room-to-room weather center. Looking at temperatures coming in 69 degrees. In a lot of ways, just an absolutely perfect day for a little bit of baseball action. Again, it's going to be Houston taking on New Albany for our Game of the Week. New Albany, the slightly better record at 8-2, 6-4-1 for the Houston Hilltoppers, the home team this evening. And again, Ethan and I will be breaking down that full discussion. Excuse me. A little tickle on my throat there. Coming up. Okay. I'll probably have to go after a little bit of water for this. I'm going to let you talk on this here for a moment, despite the fact people are going to look at me, and I'll let you handle this here for just a second. Is that okay, Gabe?
Yeah, do you want to take radar full screen?
Yeah, go ahead and take radar full screen. Track those showers out, and then we'll kind of pick it up from here in a second.
All right.
I apologize for that, y'all.
No problem at all. All right, let me bring it back here to the Room to Room Weather Center here real quick. But what we're basically dealing with is this severe weather threat getting into our Saturday. But right now, tracking a few of those isolated showers already. Now, those showers remaining...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, no, I was going to... yeah, I see. Okay, I see what you're doing. I was like, no, we don't need severe threat. We'll talk about that. But yeah, go ahead and get on the radar.
Yes, so just basically getting logged in behind the scenes. But let's go ahead and bring it over to my shot real quick. And don't be alarmed by that. It's just basically a little bit warm in the studio. So when Matt is live, I kind of like to not wear a jacket. Makes sense, right? We're kind of in that spring-like air. So apologies there. Nothing to worry about tonight. But heading into tomorrow, that's where that severe weather threat is a little bit more expected. So right now, what we're tracking, let's go ahead and put this on a 1-hour loop and time this out. And as you can see, we had a little bit of action moving over there towards Pickens County, this kind of wrapping around some of these prefrontal showers in the warm sector, and very similar to what we had yesterday. Just going to see some of that peak coverage there in the afternoon. So let's drag it over there and take a look at some of these showers and zooming it in there. Tuscaloosa getting a little bit more intense on some of those showers. Even a few rumbles of thunder, I would say, is not impossible. Let's go ahead and get that lightning counter up there. So yes, about 37 strikes here over the last 30 minutes. So these look to be on the downswing, especially with those strikes kind of depleting. You can see right here how they were about 100 earlier on, now down to closer to 30 to 40. So that tells me that these thunderstorms are kind of fighting for that same batch of energy and not exactly going to last too much longer. If we put this on the latest scan, let me go ahead and jump to that real quick, and we're going to drag this out. Again, these are not fast movers, but if we track out that leading edge all the way up there towards Tuscaloosa, I'm going to put this at about, I would say 30 miles an hour is a fair assessment right there. You can see a few areas. So if you know anyone out there in Tuscaloosa County, well, of course, this is headed their way out of North Mississippi. So this is not really a concern for our neck of the woods. But nonetheless, if you see folks in Western Hills, 517, Pine Circle, 520, and then on there towards the Bel Air Estates is all over there in Tuscaloosa County. So not going to be affecting a ton of us. Let's go ahead and bring it back to our North Mississippi view. And as we take a look over here towards Chula, that's definitely some areas where I would say we could see a few pop-up showers. And let's move it over towards our Jackson radar to get a better visual on this. Yeah, there's your thunderstorm activity starting to just basically pop up, bubble up there towards the eastern side of Louisiana, and putting this on a 1 hour loop as well. You can kind of see how these are intensifying a bit more over the last 30 minutes or so. So those strikes still coming in at about just under 100, and as those move more towards Yazoo City, Chula, Hollandale, expect more of those rain chances there. But Matt, I know that you're hoping that we don't have to deal with showers out there in Houston tonight, and that is, of course, because our game of the week is out there as well. And I know that you have the very latest on that forecast and what to expect moving into Saturday's severe weather threat. So what are conditions like now, and what are we expecting moving into that extended forecast?
Yeah, obviously this evening, we're going to talk more about the severe weather threat. We're concentrating on that chance there again for tomorrow here. Appreciate you for kind of guiding everyone around there on Mama Justice Doppler radar for a moment. And again, the forecast out here this evening, spectacular in Houston. There's that limited chance for a couple of showers. First pitch of our game of the week is at 7 p.m. I believe we have JV probably going on at the moment here. And just looking in a lot of ways like a very, very nice night for a little bit of baseball. I mean, considering this time of year, there's always something going wrong. This is about as good a forecast I think we'll get. Even a little bit of a humid feel to that breeze. Of course, that would be setting the stage for a more active day tomorrow. Your day planner has us with 10% on that rain coverage at 7 a.m., but that blossoms to around 40% by 1 p.m. 4 p.m., we're at about 70% coverage of showers and thunderstorms, some heavy, maybe even some strong to severe. Those southerly winds shift more kind of south westward, and then eventually more kind of to the north and west behind our frontal system. So here are our severe threats for your Saturday. As far as tornadoes go, a brief spin-up tornado is not impossible. Sporadic wind damage, I think, is the more likely impact as far as severe weather is concerned. And I'm a little more interested in the hail potential on this one than we were last night. Don't expect to have a lot of hail, but at least some hail possible. But the biggest, most likely issue, rainfall amounts exceeding 3 inches could cause some spotty flash flooding. We need the rainfall, so I think a lot of folks probably aren't going to turn that down, considering, unfortunately, we still have those drought conditions for a lot of spots. So our severe risk, everyone in the yellow counties, and that is most people that watch us here on Mississippi Live Weather, everybody from really Ashland to around Tupelo to Aberdeen to Caledonia back to the west, more likely to see a couple of isolated reports of wind damage in particular. You look at the severe risk comes directly back to that wind damage potential. So a few of us will see, again, a few gusts in excess of maybe 50 to 60 miles per hour. The fact that we had that ice storm, and I'm going to be talking about this all year long, so get used to it and get tired of it, that has weakened some of the tree branches in some spots, the western part of the area, northwest portion of Mississippi. It's more likely to bring those down with a lesser wind gust. Tornadoes, not a high threat by any stretch of the imagination. The system, as far as tornadoes concerned, weakening substantially as it gets closer to us. Now, this evening, we do show a couple isolated showers and thunderstorms, Kosciuszko or so, around 7 p.m. We're up here in Houston in Chickasaw County. Notice how those get a little bit close, hopefully diminishing by 9, as we should be getting closer to the end of this game, but not an impossibility to have some few showers here. Certainly out in the Delta, more likely from Greenwood back up toward around Charleston, and then by midnight or so, all that activity is out of here. Temperatures don't drop much overnight. We expect them to head back into the mid-60s, and that's it. Those southerly winds bringing up more moisture. We don't have a lot of thunderstorms as of the beginning of the day. Low temperatures, normal high this time of year should be low 60s. We're there. Even some upper 60s out there for low temperatures for locations out toward Belzona and Greenwood. We're looking at 65 degrees in Louisville and Starkville for lows, 63 degrees in Tupelo, and here in Houston, about 64 to begin your Saturday. So let's walk through Futurecast hour by hour. The first of those storms getting closer to, say, Holly Springs and back toward Clarksdale by 11 o'clock in the morning. The expectation is that ahead of that, some thunderstorms develop. But the question is, how strong are those? See how, as we head toward around noontime, we have that one there closer to Winona. Is that anything to be concerned with? I don't know that it is. But the fact that we have a couple ahead, that's where sometimes we get a little bit of rotation. But I'm also looking at individual storms there closer to Cleveland, as you can see, and then south of Greenville. If those can be in the right part of the atmosphere, that's where some of the rotation could come in on some of the thunderstorms as they merge up with the line. Now, the part I show from New Albany to Oxford, that looks like primarily damaging winds. But when I mention a spin-up tornado, that's where sometimes you can have the winds gusting out of a thunderstorm, and you get just the right rotation at just the right spot to briefly cause a tornado spin up. It's not going to be something long track, but a brief tornado, not an impossibility. And that means tornado warnings are on the table as a possibility with this. And that's part of the reason why you need to make sure you have weather call. You can find more information at msliveweather.com/weather call. It'll let you know whether what's happening is something you actually need to pay attention to. We still show one of those thunderstorms there south and west of Winona, and between that and Belzona and Carroll County there, that could potentially, in Holmes County as well, still have some gusty winds with it and maybe a little bit of rotation. As that tracks eastward, those storms still pretty heavy there for Aberdeen and back toward Kosciuszko's. Look toward 3 to 4 o'clock, and just a little east of that out there closer to, say, West Point and Aberdeen. Gabe, go ahead and give me a space bar on this a couple times because it seems like my data is in and out here. So stop there again at 4 p.m. closer that past Columbus. As we advance that there toward 5 p.m., we show that then closer to Macon and Reform. And after this line comes through, there's no additional threat that we're concerned about at this point here. It's just heavy rainfall. So, in particular, looking at rainfall, that is one of the big factors with this. What do we talk about for rainfall totals? Because I think flooding rainfall is a possibility with this. You'll notice this storm is out of here while that front kind of kicks through. It will try to stall out close-ish to us, which is why it's not a big burst of cold air behind it and pretty limited chances for rainfall into your Sunday. So rainfall totals now. Looking at that, you'll see that those are going to be, for the most part, fairly decent out there in some spots. Flash flooding threat, something that we're monitoring there. And Gabe, I think... yeah, we got to go back to the heavy rainfall graphic. Did we jump past that?
We were battling with the space bar there, so you have control. I've moved it back.
Well, there should be a heavy rainfall graphic in there as well. I need you to, we're going to click off skip frames here for a moment because I want to see, you're going to have to scroll down to where we're at.
Okay. Oh, it's in play mode. Hang on.
Give us a moment here as we get down to it. Keep on going down.
Oh, right here.
Keep on going. You're going to have to go down for a little bit more.
It's that one.
Yeah, enable the 18Z H. Here, I'll get that there, I think. And put that one in play. That's the one I was hoping to see on this. So here's the rainfall totals we were talking about. Not a lot tonight, quarter to half inch at most. The conservative HRRR model still has a few spots where we have some of the oranges starting to show up. That'd be a few areas where maybe we had around 3 inches of rain. Our strike model, which we'll show you at 6 o'clock, does have some corridors even a little bit heavier than this. But in my mind, the takeaway is some sporadic flooding rainfall, not impossible out of this. And in general, I expect hopefully most of the wind gusts will be a little bit below severe limits, but certainly there will be some that are strong enough, as we kind of alluded to there. Into Monday of next week, some spotty showers and thunderstorms I think are also possible as we kind of keep the pattern fairly active in the next week. Some sporadic thunderstorms. Monday's kind of a wild card, if I'm honest. It's one of those days that sometimes we overlook that might have a greater hail potential than expected. Stay tuned. That's something over the weekend we'll be talking a lot more about. I do have some real questions about how Monday kind of evolves there, but some of those storms do look kind of interesting for Monday, and then we'll have additional shower and thunderstorm chances as we go toward Tuesday of next week as well, with more significant severe weather chances possible as we look toward Wednesday and maybe the latter part of the week. So for your Saturday, we're at about 80% on that peak coverage of showers and thunderstorms. They're going to be widespread. They're going to be heavy rainfall, and from time to time, maybe spinning up a brief tornado. Again, anytime we say tornado, I know how people think about that. These are not high-end tornadoes. This would be something that would be equivalent to what some stronger straight-line wind damage could be, which is something to be respected, clearly. And so that's why we want to make sure you have the Mississippi Live Weather app. to get those alerts there. You have weather call as well. You'll notice as we look toward Wednesday and next week, we're about 50% on that coverage of rainfall, showers, and thunderstorms as our storm system, that kind of upper level low that's going to do its thing and decide to kick out whenever it feels like it actually should. That system at this point still timing out primarily on Wednesday. But one of the things we'll look at coming up at 6 o'clock is the jet stream, kind of how that figures into whether or not that is going to time out like that. Because one of the things we discussed during our 6 o'clock broadcast was that specifically. We'll look at that in more detail coming up at 6 o'clock on our triple threat here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Gabe, I'll have you pop the shot up here back in Houston so we talk baseball just a little bit more. Again, our Ethan Foster is going to be here at our Mississippi Live Game of the Week coming up during our 6 o'clock broadcast. He has the big breakdown here. Just excited to be adding baseball to our slate of things that we cover here on Mississippi Live Weather. I guess technically Mississippi Live Sports as far as that is concerned. And very thankful to folks at Casey Lott and Langston and Lott for being a big partner with us all the way through football season, basketball season. And I know Gabe, again, is still keeping up with all of those folks around here with the state championships. Congratulations to Ingomar, Calhoun City, right, Gabe? And I want to say Olive Branch. Is that all of them in North Mississippi so far? I know we have some others still playing right now.
Well, forgetting one, the most recent champion here in Mississippi, that is the Tishomingo County Braves. They came away with the title.
That's right.
4A state champions.
That was while I was on my way down here. Yeah. So excited for them, and we were able to see a large number of those over the course of this year, thanks to so many of you voting for them to be our games of the week.
Yeah, so far, I think we've seen Calhoun City, Tishomingo County, and Ingomar. The only ones we didn't get to see was Olive Branch. So,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
So
we're good luck.
Yep. Well, our Ethan Foster didn't do quite as well on some of his picks today. There are a couple that he missed, but he's had a great record. What, 10-2 for the year? 11-2.
He is 10 or he might be 11-2 now, but I'll tell you one thing: he got scratched.
Yeah, well, that happens. Perfection is an illusion, as we always tell our kids. So, again, we'll be here. Game starts in Houston at 7 p.m. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to look at triple threat. We're going to zoom in on the threats around North Mississippi. There is some hail potential starting to show up. We'll track where that is the most likely in some of those rotation tracks as well, as we kind of break down everything related to this severe weather threat coming up at 6 p.m. But for our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Thank you so much for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather. If you have not downloaded the app, please do so and make sure your friends and family have it as well. Not just because, hey, we want a bunch of people to download it, because we think it is a life-saving tool in severe weather, and so something that you certainly should have. And Gabe, I don't know if you could pop up that weather call button there and kind of recall that. It might be something you have to actually say something about it, or pop my audio up after we kind of pop you up with it. But weather call is a life-saving tool that we recommend for everybody, because even in this day and age of smartphones, you're watching this on this. Why do you need a phone call? Because if a phone called right now, it disrupts your viewing of this. Yet if someone text messages you, it doesn't. We need you to be disrupted, or you need to be disrupted when there's severe weather around. That's why weather call still matters in this day and age. Gabe, did you find the button?
I am currently looking for it. Any direction?
Look on the stream. If you look on the stream deck there in front, I want to say if you push right to the one time, it will pop it up, but it'll be one of them in the studio, but at least it'll pop it up.
On the stream deck?
So you look at the stream deck, you hit the right button?
Yes, yeah. I found it.
Okay.
All right, so...
Okay, go ahead and pop that up.
There it is. Let me pop Matt's audio up too so he can talk about it a little bit more. But yes, this is Weather Call. $15 a year can help save a life, and those phone calls come through, whether you like it or not, to let you know when severe weather is moving into town. That can be flash flooding. That can be severe thunderstorm warning. That could also be a tornado warning. And it also calls back to talk about confirmed tornado warnings. So that's just basically letting you know what to expect as that moves into your area, and that phone call could be life-saving in advance of some of those storms.
And the thing is that, Gabe, one of the important things about that is that it does not call for regular flash flood warnings. It calls for flash flood emergencies. The idea of a weather call is you hope you never get one. And if you are getting one, this is something you need to react to. It's a high-end severe thunderstorm warning. It is a tornado warning where obviously you should be getting action, and it's a tornado being confirmed. So when you think of what happened in the hill country of Texas, flash flood warning for that, you're going to get it. If it's just, and I'm not wanting to diminish just, run-of-the-mill flash flood warnings, but we do get a lot of those. That might not be something that is an instant act, but certainly something we need to be cautious of. When you start talking flash flood emergencies, that's the difference between life and death, and it definitely takes care of you in that scenario.
For sure, and I mean it's saved countless lives here in North Mississippi throughout our time of covering. So Matt, that's definitely one of those layers we talk about adding whenever we're heading into these events. And I went on a school visit today, and we were just talking about layers of protection, how to stay safe whenever severe weather strikes, and that's what we can be doing currently. So. Which, speaking of, I'll of course have that visit coming up at 6, but you'll have more details on that severe weather threat with our Ethan Foster joining to talk about our game of the week and all of this. So an action-packed 6 o'clock should be fun.
We have some stuff to talk about at 6. Of course, we're Mississippi Live Weather, so we're going to hit the weather component of this before we hit all the rest of it. That's one of the things, again, when weather's in your name, that we do. But we're going to kind of have updates on all those things come up during our 6 o'clock broadcast. We hope to see you then here in the Room to Room Weather Center coming up at 6. But live here from Houston, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing to level.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.